Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Beguiled by Books. I'm Megan, and you've reached a community of book lovers and word nerds. Today, I'm sharing my July 2025 reading wrap up with 12 books. Let's get started. The end of July means we are over halfway through the year, and while that might scare some of you, I'm pretty excited because that means that we are that much closer to autumn and Halloween and the end of the year holidays, all of which are some of my favorite times, and I am just so looking forward to sweaters and books and hot beverages again. Summer is not my favorite. But that said, in July, I read 12 books. Technically, I read 10 books, but I'm talking about two of them because I read them kind of on the last day of June. So I don't know. It's my channel, my video. I can do what I want. At the end of June, I read The Art of Danish Living, How to Find Happiness in and Out of Work. And I've read quite a few other books by this author, and I've really enjoyed them. But unfortunately, I think this might be the weakest one so far. So many of the Nordic, Danish, Scandinavian lifestyle books and culture books really boil down to a few key concepts. So if you read a higher level one, just kind of about various concepts, Hygge or some of the other ones that you've seen out there, they're gonna be better. And you could apply those same principles to your job. You don't have to read a specific book about your job. It kind of reminded me of Marie Kondo's How to Spark Joy at Work. You can just use the spark joy principle for the most part at work and apply as needed. So I felt similarly about this book, and it is what it is, but there are others that are better. I finished June by reading a book called Strange Houses, which is a originally Japanese work that's been translated to English. I loved it because it was super quick and easy to read, and it was all about these super weirdly constructed houses and what happens in those houses when our main character is led to believe they might be murder houses. So it's really quick. I can't give away too super much without spoiling the whole book, but I really liked how it was done and did not end the way I thought it would. So that's always a bonus for me. Earlier in 2025, I was at Parnassus Books in Nashville and I got a book called 32 Yolks, which is Eric Ripert's memoir. And I'm a big Anthony Bourdain, Eric Ripert fan. I think those two had a beautiful friendship. Eric Ripert is so different from the personality we know of Anthony Bourdain. And I did not know he had a memoir. I genuinely was shocked. I knew he had a cookbooks, did not know he actually had a memoir. And it was so delightful. Very short, but takes you through his childhood, kind of tumultuous childhood, and how he got into the restaurant scene and how he really became that three-star Michelin chef. And what I loved about it is all of the examples that were set for him and his conscientious decision to act differently. And that says a lot about an individual, especially someone in as high of a caliber position as Eric Ripert. So y'all know I love chef memoirs. This one goes to the top of the list. Absolutely adored it. Gonna keep it, gonna reread it. It was a great, great story. I got My Next Breath by Jeremy Renner from the library in July, and I got to read that, and it was a wild ride. So, what I loved about My Next Breath is how Jeremy Renner states in the very beginning, I did not want to write this book. And you can tell from his attitude, he did not want to write this book. But that's what makes it so much more compelling. His story is about the incident on New Year's Day, 2023, where he was very accidentally run over by a 14,000-pound snowcat on the side of a mountain near his mountain home. It's very traumatic. He explicitly states he didn't want to have to open up those old wounds and have to ask the people who were involved in his recovery more about those emotions. But he and those who contributed did an excellent job of staying on theme, which really was resilience and what you have control over in your mind and how your mind really affects your body and how critical the right mentality at the right time really is. Loved this book, found it very interesting. I don't want to say entertaining because it's a Bit of a grim start to the story, but luckily, spoiler alert, Jeremy Renner lives to fight another day and write this book. So overall, it's a really, really good story about resilience and mental toughness. Another book I got from the library is called Before the Coffee Gets Cold, another original Japanese book translated to English. And this book is about like a time traveling chair in a coffee shop. So the coffee shop remains unchanged, and this one specific chair will take you to any point in the past, not the future. Well, I guess it takes you to the future. It's a whole thing. So there are rules, and it goes through kind of the rules and parameters of how to use this chair through the lens of a couple different characters and how all those characters end up intertwining. Really interesting. There are multiple books in this series. I've only read the first one. I genuinely don't know if it compelled me enough to go back and finish the series, but I'm glad I read it because I know it's been getting a lot of buzz and it was really beautifully written and fairly entertaining. I finally read The Comfort Book by Matt Haig, and I read The Midnight Library by him ages ago and loved it. And he's got lots of books out there in the world, and this is only the second one that I've read. And it was a hug in book form. I highly recommend getting a copy for yourself, gifting a copy to people you know and love. It is a beautiful book, and it's kind of Matt Haig's own narration to himself when he feels low and in a not good place. He's been very open with his mental health journey and the ups and downs he's faced over the years. And this book is just a reminder to himself that he shares with others that what these feelings can mean. And also, you are not your feelings. You can separate you, the person, from the feelings that you're feeling. And a lot of these are important reminders in an ever-changing and ever unstable world. Beautiful book. Again, highly recommend it to keep for yourself and to give as a gift. Two books I read so quickly, I genuinely didn't realize I had read two books, were The Final Gambit and The Brothers Hawthorne as part of the Inheritance Games series. These books I got back to back at the library and honestly, truly read them so quickly, I thought I skipped a book. When I was done with the Brothers Hawthorne, I had read them so fast, I thought I completely missed one in the series. Super excited to finish the series. I have one book left. I will be reading that in August, and I'm very, very pumped about it. But these two books were wonderful. I love the storyline. I love the series. I'm going to recommend it a million, million times. It's YA. It's not fantasy, but feels like fantasy. Has to do with twists and riddles and logic and puzzles and games in a really fun, exciting, cerebral kind of way. Loved it, loved it, loved it. Absolutely favorite read of July. I read a very short yet very dense book called Six Impossible Things. And this book is all about the conundrums in physics, specifically quantum physics. So it talks a little bit about gravity. It talks about the multi-worlds interpretation, many worlds interpretation. A lot of different principles, theories in the quantum physics realm. And I wanted to read something different that I don't typically read about. And quantum physics is up there. Again, very dense. There's a lot packed into this very short book. I loved it. I will absolutely reread it. It's fascinating if you want to nerd out about something really different. Not many people do, but here we are, community of book lovers of all genres. I read the book Abundance by Ezra Klein and Derek Thompson. I've seen this making the rounds recently in the nonfiction space as a really important book around climate change and economics. It's a hard word for me to say for some reason. So this book I really wanted to dive into and figure out why the hype. And it's about, again, climate change and economics. That is correct. It's very data heavy. There are a lot of studies cited, sources acknowledged, many crossover bits of public policy and societal change in here as well. The book really starts with a utopia. What if we could live in a world that looked like X, Y, and Z, clean air, clean water, universal basic income, those types of progressive thoughts. And from that utopia, the authors walk back not only how it's possible, but why it's necessary kind of to evolve into the next phase of society. The authors cite kind of these 30-ish year periods of great change in our past, the Industrial Revolution, the Renaissance, those types of things where a lot of innovation happened really quickly and then changed the course of society, changed the fabric of our, current reality. Really interesting. I'll be quite curious to see if things can change with this kind of AI tech revolution that's coming and what our world is going to look like in 25 or 30 years. It'll be really interesting. A book I've had for a long time and I put off reading is called The Rediscovery of America by Ned Blackhawk. And I put off reading it because it's pretty dense. It's a history book. I don't read a ton of those very frequently, but I really wanted to read this book and learn/unlearn things I knew. It's a very deep dive into pre-revolutionary uh, kind of North Central America with colonialism from varying countries, what that did to indigenous populations from the Aztec and the Mayans all the way up to the first peoples of the North America lands, how French Canada really affected a lot of what was happening in America. Fascinating read, very, very dense. Give yourself some time. There are maybe 10-ish chapters, and each one took about an hour, a little over an hour to read. So it was a lot, again, very dense. You need to look at the footnotes as well. Fascinating subject. It felt like a college course packed into a single 6-ish 100-page book. Really good, really well done, very dense. The last book I read in July, which may be right up there with the Inheritance Games, is one of my favorites, is called The Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst. And this book is a cozy fantasy. It's got merhorses, it's got cats with wings, it has bookstores and bakeries, a librarian, and magical beings all around, and of course, a great magic system and villain to offset the coziness. It was lovely and delightful. In the author's note, the author says, I sat down and I wanted to write a book that feels like you sitting down with a cup of hot cocoa, and this book is it. You've got a blanket, you've got a cat or a dog with you, and or whatever pet of your choice, and a nice hot beverage. This book is just cozy and soft and snuggly and sweet in all the best ways. It is absolutely going on one of my top cozy book lists. The second one just came out, already own it, cannot wait to read it. What books did you read in July? I would really love to know. Please drop me a comment and share. I put everything on my TBR. Can't promise when I'll get to it, but I do put it on my TBR. As always, there is a pinned comment and a link in the description below for you to sign up for my upcoming course, The Growth Library, ways you can shortcut your way to success without having to read a lot of nonfiction books while still getting all of the great insights from them. If you liked this video or got something from it, like a book you want to read, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to share if you haven't, and subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, have a beautiful day.